Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, welcome inside our studios for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Give us a call tonight, 412-575-2600. Gene Collier sitting right next to me, so get on the phone lines right now. You can tweet us if you want to, but we're talking about Le'Veon Bell. Should the Steelers franchise him? And should Pitt let Kevin Stallings go and look for someone new? 0-19 finishing the season with a somewhat competitive game today against Notre Dame. Did they do enough, Gene, for you to keep Stallings around?
I don't think so. You know, it's unusual for a school to part ways with a coach after only 2 seasons, but this is the kind of performance, as you mentioned, 0-19 in the conference. Pitt has lost 23 consecutive conference games, and with the exception of today, has mostly not been competitive. I mean, Pitt routinely fields a team that or puts on the court a team that can't shoot, can't rebound, and isn't experienced enough to really know how to play. So, you know, they're pretty embarrassing. If Kevin Stallings is fired, I mean, nobody would be surprised.
Yeah, and I think everyone kind of expects it. They're young. They only shot 23% in the first half today, but did make it competitive. The only other competitive game, I would say, with this team this year might have been that NC State where they blew that big lead and ended up losing at the end. You could kind of say the Syracuse game is competitive. I didn't really think so, but I think a move has to be made, and we've talked about this a bunch of times on this show, and I'm sure callers want the same thing because apathy is kind of set in over at Pitt. People didn't even know they were playing today, and that's a sad state of affairs when people don't know the team's playing in an ACC tournament game. Young team, I think a young guy or any guy can really come in here, keep some of these recruits. I think some of these guys are worth keeping, and maybe someone can build on what they have. But I definitely think that this organization, this group, needs some kind of change. And the fact that Heather, like Gene, hasn't really come out and support him yet, I think that's a big sign.
Well, I think after Kevin Stallings was fired weeks ago on this show,
oh yeah, that's right.
All his support from Heather Life kind of went away because I know she's a big fan of the show.
Oh, she is. Yeah, she's actually tried to call in a couple times, and the phone lines have been busy.
Can't get in. Sure.
Yeah, usually Mondays
try again,
too.
Heather. Really.
Yeah, we can give you some advice, but she really can't be happy right now. Also, Le'Veon Bell's not too happy. $14.5 million he's guaranteed to make. But he wants some guaranteed money, more than what the Steelers are willing to offer him. I think this is kind of ridiculous, Gene. I don't think the guy deserves $13 million, what the Steelers reportedly offered him last year, and have maybe come up a little bit more than that. I think Ed Bouchette had the numbers from last year. And I don't think that one guy can set the market. I have this I'm doing this graphic tonight on KDKA-TV that's showing the top running backs, but also showing what the Patriots and the Eagles pay for their entire backfield, which is half of the highest paid running back, $5 million and $3 million. And these guys were in the Super Bowl. I think you need Le'Veon Bell, not at that price. I wouldn't even have franchised them. I'd move on and try to find someone else.
Yeah, that's one of the options. And, you know, I don't think people should look at this as the final step in the Le'Veon Bell decision. I mean, the Steelers could still do a lot of things with this before July 16th, as you mentioned, and you know, this could still play out a number of ways. I mean, I think the one thing that you can say for certain about it is that Le'Veon Bell is kind of overplaying his hand here. Now, you know, he's going to be rewarded with a salary of $14,544,000, which is about $35,000 every time he touches the ball. So, you know, he's going to be fine. But I think he could have made a lot more money had he agreed to either last year's Steeler contract or this year's offer that he's going to end up making. I do.
Yeah, I can go back and forth on this whole Le'Veon Bell issue, but I just think that when all the other running backs are making half of what you're making, I don't think that you can set the market. I just think it's just too much to pay that position right now when you can have multiple guys doing that job making a lot less. And really, my big thing with the Steelers, if they were in a different scenario, than they are with the cap. They have cap issues this year, Gene. Obviously, you know about that. If they need to replace a Ryan Shazier, they need a lot of help on defense. And I think that money could be more wisely used on defense than in Le'Veon Bell's pocket.
Right. Well, that's why I'm saying don't count this as the final step in this. I mean, things could change because of the draft. Things could change as they move cap money around. This isn't necessarily the way it's going to be.
Yeah. All right. Give us a call. 412-575-2600 is the number. Or you can send us a tweet. I'm at Richie Walsh. Back in a couple minutes.